Hi, this is Chris from Acrylic Pixel, and this is the video on how much money my indie game made, a game about making a planet, in 1 month. Now, I did record and upload the 1 week video, and you can see that on YouTube if you wanted to check that out first before coming to here, because there's some stuff there that I kind of won't talk about in this video. This one's just about the 1 month like earnings and the charts and figures from Steam that I can show you. This is the game, a game about making a planet. Launched on Steam on the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you. And this is the trailer that I set out. And I thought that the trailer kind of demonstrated that it was a chill, relaxing, satisfying indie game. But the reviews kind of think something else. But we can get into that. The first thing we want to see is how much money I made. So this is how much money I made in the first month after launch. So $17,631 lifetime revenue, but that's including the supporter packs and any few handful of downloads that I got for my other game, Orbs. This doesn't include 10 bells, my other game, because 10 bells is done on Hillfort Games' account, so it doesn't show 10 bells. So this is just pretty much my latest game, a game about making a planet, which is really, really good news. For a solo indie game developer, this is really good news for 1 month. Okay, so Steam units 3,480. That's not bad at all. And obviously this is a huge increase on my previous. I wanted to show the 3-month view because you can see that for a long time it doesn't even register. There's like a handful of Orbs sales, 1 or 2 here or there, and then suddenly when we came through the launch we had this huge spike, which is really, really great to see. This 2-week mark here is the end of the sale. So I had a 2-week sale and I had a 20% discount, I believe. And then this other 2 weeks that we've had here is the long tail that people talk about. And so there's a bit of a dip as well. And we can get into why that might be. But all things considered, I think it went fine. It went okay. My money situation has been really terrible up until this point, and so now this means that I'm making a normal average kind of wage, similar to what I was making a few years ago before I left, working life to do an indie game development career. So I'm really happy about that. There are certain things I'm not too happy about, but yeah, we can get into that. So this is a bit more detail about the breakup of where the money's come from. So $17,331 for the normal, a game about making a planet. Then we had the supporter pack, and I've earned $100 from that. And then Orbs was $75. I think there was a couple of sales in the last 3 months. And then the soundtrack launched only a couple of weeks into launch. So it's only been out for about 2 weeks, and that's made $24. There is a bundle connecting them all together, so people might have bought, some people did buy the bundle, and so that might account for that. So yes, pretty good. What else have we got? So this is more detail about the main game, a game about making a planet, the app itself, and it shows the full length of the month from launch in kind of more detail. So the net value is $14,211. So after taxes, that's roughly about £7,600 or so for a month's work, which is really, really good. Obviously that spike is the majority of that, so it's not going to be like that every month. But when we do a sale, I'm hoping that we can get nice big spikes, but that depends on how the game is well received. And again, I'm preluding to the fact that it's not been well received, or not as nicely received as I would have hoped anyway. So that's all that. Returns 287, so that's not too bad either. That's, I think, 9 or 10%, something like that. Not too bad. Here's the playtime. So average playtime is 2 hours, and the medium playtime is 1 hour 26. That's pretty good. I think that's pretty good for the price point. So I launched it a bit too high. So I launched the game at $6.99, and then, for reasons that we'll talk about later, I then reduced it to $4.99. Or was it $5.99, then I reduced it down to $4.99. So I will be making some more content for the game when I can find a moment. to sort of crack on with that, and I need to figure out what the best use of my time is in terms of maximum extra playtime for the player. So here's what happened with the wish lists. So we launched at about 4,000 wish lists, and now we've got up to 6,000 wish lists additions, and then the current outstanding is 4,165. So I've got a similar amount of wish lists than what I sort of launched with, and the conversion rate is 15, which I think is pretty good. So here's like January. I think this is like a year, June, or is this like 6 months or so? This is like the lifetime of the app itself. So since launching A Game About Making a Planet on Steam, and then gathering wish lists, and these spikes is when YouTubers have posted the videos. So we had, this one was Real Civil Engineer, the largest one, which was really great. And then towards the end, towards launch, we had a couple of other YouTubers posting videos. I just want to say as well, all the YouTube videos, so we had like Grey Still Plays, we had Idle Cub, we had Real Civil Engineer, I'm Cade. They were all really positive videos. They all seemed to really enjoy the game. And they all had really nice things to say about the game, and not really much negative points to say about the game. The game wasn't buggy at all. It all seemed to work really well. It's exactly what I wanted to create. So what I wanted to create in the game is what's been launched. So I'm really happy with that. So people do seem to really enjoy it. And all the comments on the YouTube channels as well are all really positive. Again, preluding to some information we can come up to towards the end of the video. So the wish lists were okay. Like, I should have got 5,000 to 7,000 wish lists, 7,000 plus, to be able to get into like new and trending when the game launched. So I didn't get into new and trending, but Steam did still show my game in the lead up to the launch, and then we had the conversion spike here in green, and then the deletions in orange, which I think was fine. And again, the usual kind of spike in wish lists just because you're launching the game. I think people see the game and go, yeah, I'll play that when it goes on sale, next time. And this is the lifetime wishlist actions. So these are the spikes from the YouTubers, and then the launch, and then you can see the conversion there. And then just to show you just after the launch window here what the wishlist actions was and the conversion here. So now we've got this 2 week where we're just every so often converting a few people from the wishlist every now and again. So they must just be going into their wish list and buying games. And then so we've got the conversion here. So it starts off quite high and then drops down to around 10%, which is fine, I think. It's not too bad. So here's the real thing, which is the standout surprise for me. I thought that when a game came out, I thought that it died if it had like mixed reviews. And then watching the MMO98 people, the Bite Me Games people, do their videos and about how they're not really happy with their reviews, and how my game kind of mirrored that. It's actually I think it's worse. So I think I got 60% positive reviews now. Had another negative review today, and they were quite upset in their video, the MMO98 people. I'm a little bit upset, but I'm not too upset. I'm more kind of shocked and surprised how Steam hasn't buried my game as much as I thought it would, especially considering the amount of wish lists that I got before launch. So I was just considering that because I didn't get into the 7,000 plus wish list category, I thought Steam would kind of just bury my game and no one would buy it. But I'm still getting like 20 to 30 sales a day, even out of the sale. And considering that it's mixed reviews, that's really kind of like thrown me for a loop. I don't understand how I can still be making money on the game, but it still be only 60% positive ratings on Steam. So that's really, really confused me. But there are a few reasons why I think this might be the case. Like, I think people don't watch the trailers before they buy a game. Obviously, lots of people do. Not everyone reads the reviews before they buy a game. Some people obviously do. Some people don't play the demo of the game because there's a demo out of A Game About Making a Planet. Some people don't play the demo before they buy a game and then leave a bad review. Obviously, not everyone. So, yeah, I think this is an interesting thing that's happened, potentially with incremental games, specifically like round-based incremental games, or node-likes, if some people calling it like that, where the game has a certain expectation which, if if it doesn't live up to the player's expectation, they're going to leave a bad review. And that's absolutely fine. You know, there's no problem about that. Like, yes, in some cases, like, if your expectations aren't met, you're going to leave a bad review. Totally understand that. For me, I was trying to push the genre, do my own version. It's a completely unique mechanic that I've created out of nothing. Like, there are no video games on the planet Earth which have a gravity-based merging mechanic. So I thought I was doing something quite interesting and clever and unique. But people seem to just think that the game's really boring. It was satisfying and chill game. That's what like the YouTube videos were saying. And that's kind of what I was designing. But all the reviews are split into like 3 camps. So there's boring, waste of time, pointless. There's it's way too expensive, and so that's why I reduced the price. And the expensive ones, for the most part, have kind of gone now as well. So it was just it was the higher end of an incremental game. It wasn't the most expensive incremental game, and it wasn't the cheapest, but it was kind of near the top. So now it's kind of in the middle, which is fine. I expect a few reviews to talk about price. The other camp was it's not as good as a game about feeding a black hole, or like it's a pale comparison, or just by that, or it doesn't even have as many game modes. And those reviews, I kind of didn't really consider that would make up a large portion of negative reviews. I was setting myself up to fail by making a game that had such a comparison. You know, it was inspired by a game about feeding a black hole, but I was trying to do my own thing. It's a completely unique mechanic, completely unique upgrades, mechanics on what you upgrade and how you upgrade, and the currency is I haven't lifted that at all from a game about feeding a black hole. But I've been thinking about it through my developer's eyes. Like, any developer that plays both games can see that, right? But players just see the surface level detail, which is similar. So they see the fact that it's both space game. They see the fact that it's both kind of set in the middle of the screen, and then things orbit around the outside, and they see that the cursor is the thing that you do. They don't see that the mechanics are different, that the mechanic that I've created is completely unique. They just don't see that. They just see the comparisons. And so I was kind of setting myself up to fail in that respect. I am a bit surprised, mainly considering when the demo came out and it's like 90% positive reviews. And the 2 reviews that are bad were like, it's boring. And again, I thought that the Steam description explained the game well. In the Steam description, I put how long the game is, so complete. I used keywords like satisfying and chill in the description. You know, even the timbre and tone of my voice in the trailer is that way. All the YouTube videos, explain that as well. So it's really surprising, this. But, I think part of it is that the incremental genre, the emphasis on incremental, getting more and more and more, games tend to get more and more kind of crazy and doubling up on mechanics and things just filling the screen and it becoming more crazy and manic rather than chill and relaxing. So that might be where I've fallen down with this game idea, in that I was trying to push it in a different direction and didn't communicate that well enough, or the expectations on incremental games are that it shouldn't be chill and satisfying, and it should be crazy and manic to satisfy those people that are looking for that genre, and that's fair enough. So yeah, mixed bag, mixed result. Surprised about the reviews. Obviously everyone that left the review that's positive are valid, and everyone that left the review that's negative is valid. Similarly for the demo, similarly for the YouTube videos. So I guess I take a balanced view. I mean, I've already had an overwhelmingly positive game with 10 bells, and I put as much effort, as much sort of creativity, as much of myself into the games, and one has received very well but doesn't pay a huge amount at this stage, and then one has come out and is reviewed 60% positive, which is mixed, but it's sort of paying my mortgage right now for the next few months. So really, really mixed bag. I'd love to know your comments, your input, your insight. Part of me thinks that there's this narrative going around that incremental games, some people are saying incremental games are dead. Some people are saying it's the node-like sort of round-based incremental games that are dead. This game's been out a month now, so that before that narrative kind of was around, and that's kind of the narrative that's happening now. I understand that the game is a big success compared to most game launches on Steam. So I've got to take those positives, I've got to take that win. And yeah, it's just kind of puzzling. So I kind of think about it in mixed reviews myself. Like, in one way, I'm really grateful and happy and satisfied that it's paying the mortgage and that 60% of people really enjoyed the game, and all the YouTube video people like the game, and all the people like the demo. And then on the other hand, I'm like scratching my head as to what I could have done to appease the incremental crowd. So that's kind of like how the month went in a nutshell. I've just launched my latest demo, Little Ghosties. That was kind of kicking around in the background before I made a game about making a planet, and I'm launching that for the Steam Next Fest that's happening on the 15th of June. If you're interested, you can check that out. In the meantime, yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.